Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our weekly business meeting. It is March 28th, 2023. The time is 2 p.m. I'm calling this meeting to order. In attendance are Commissioners Brooks, Matari, and Duncan. And would you please join me in a moment of silence? Thank you. All right. And Steve Anderson, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Okay, changes to the agenda? Hearing none, I would take a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I move that we approve the meeting minutes, item 1.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye. All right, motion passes. And the consent calendar.
I move that we approve the consent calendar, items 2 through 8.
Uh-oh.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye. We don't need any more alarms today, thank you.
I was
We've had
gonna
enough, had enough alarms today. All right, payables list.
I move that we approve the payables list for March 20 to 24 in the amount of $505,221.74.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye, motion passes, thank you. Item 10, this is a bid opening, and this is for taxiway, I guess, NHGL, and this is the aircraft parking, apron, pavement, and maintenance. And our interim director, Mr. Cummings, would you like to speak to this? Corey, are you gonna? Okay. So it looks like we have 4. Yes.
You want to read this? Or do you want to take a look at it?
Yeah, if you want to read it, you can. That's fine too.
That's the amount.
All right, so our first one is from Road Products LLC, so RPI. And it looks like Schedule A is $240,853. Schedule B, $42,263, which is total AIP $283,116. And then bid Schedule C, non-AIP markings, $7,540 for a total of $290,656. And Corey, is that all that's needed at this point? Okay.
Sealed twice.
You're getting fast. All right. And this is from CR Contracting. It's really like CR Contract. All right. Schedule A is $292,142. Schedule B, $71,169 for a total of $363,311. Schedule C is $10,804. All schedules, $374,115. This is American Road Maintenance out of Tucson. Schedule A, $270,660. Schedule B, $52,302.50 for a total of $322,962.50. So there is no Schedule C on this one.
Well, this has a lot more numbers on it.
Oh, great. Okay. I think there's, all right, straight stripe painting. Oh, boy. Oh, all right. So, looks like total bid Schedule A, $484,039. Schedule B, $97,794. Schedule C, $10,910. So at this point, I would take a motion to acknowledge the 4 bids and send them to legal and the airport for review.
I move that we accept the 4 bids and send them to legal.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye, all right. Thank you. Item 11 is bid award, rehab runway 624 and construct taxiway B4 with the airport. So, Corey?
Did you need some review on that?
No, the contract award price is $4,744,444. That's a lot of fours. Okay. So, and it looks like to Poe Asphalt Paving.
It is, yes.
Okay. All right. So, do you have that page 125 in your computer?
Yeah.
So it's a bid award. So if you'd like to read the name and the amount, we can award the bid.
Okay, so is this a movement here?
Yes.
Okay, so I move that we award the bid to Poe Asphalt Paving, Inc. for bid Schedule A, rehabilitate runway 624, and bid Schedule B, construct taxiway B4, Bravo 4, and bid Schedule C, runway lighting, in the amount of $4,744,444.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye. Offhand, do we know what our cash match is on that project?
I believe it's 5% currently. And so this project, that notice of award is subject to receipt of a federal grant. So it doesn't, the contracting doesn't actually occur until we're just awarding the contract now, and then the contracts come through after the grant is awarded.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Item 12, development and ground lease AAL 2022-2600, Hangar Development, Sensor Avenue LLC. And is Kim on the line? Are you going to handle it, Phil?
Commissioners, Phil Cummings from the airport, I will be addressing this.
Can you push your microphone?
Does that work?
That
There
is,
you go.
thank you.
I am educatable. Excuse me. The lease, 2022-2600. The infrastructure payment has been made, $28,864. The lease is 16,800 square feet. It's for a private hangar. Total amount yearly on the lease rate on that is $38,013.60. Everything in the lease has been addressed and ready to be issued, and we would recommend that the board sign the lease and move forward.
All right, any questions?
No questions.
Motion.
I move that we approve the development and ground lease, AAL 2022-2600 hangar development with Sensor Aviation LLC.
I think it's Avenue.
Sensor Avenue. I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, all right, motion carries. And item 13, proclamation declaring April 9th through 15th, 2023 as National Telecommuters Week. And Lieutenant Higgins, you're here to speak to that?
I am Lieutenant Higgins for the record. Just to give you a quick brief overview for you yourselves in the crowd, the 911 center and dispatchers are probably one of the most important aspects of emergency services provided not only to the county but across the nation. And to recognize that, the week of April 9th through the 15th has been dedicated as National Telecommunications Communicators Week. This is a proclamation request to dedicate that week to them for this year. There are the voices behind the radio, the voices behind the phone. They work a tremendous amount of hours, and it's a very, very hard job. And so whatever we can do to recognize them and the work they do will just make their lives a little better. So.
Okay. And I would be in favor, it's not that long, in reading this into the record to commemorate this. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require law enforcement, fire, or emergency medical services, whereas when an emergency occurs, it is the prompt response of law enforcement officers, firefighters, and paramedics that are critical to the protection of life and preservation of property, whereas the safety of our law enforcement officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of the information obtained from citizens who telephone the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office Central Dispatch. Whereas emergency communications officers are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services, whereas emergency communications officers are the single vital link for our law enforcement officers, firefighters, and emergency medical services providers by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety, whereas emergency communications officers of the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients, and whereas each emergency communications officer has exhibited compassion, understanding, professionalism, and displayed untiring efforts during their assigned shifts in the past year. Now, therefore, the Board of County Commissioners of Kootenai County, by virtue of the authority invested in us by the Constitution of the State of Idaho, do hereby proclaim the week of April 9th through the 15th, 2023, as National Telecommunicators Week in Kootenai County in the honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our county and citizens safe, the Board of County Commissioners. Thank you, Lieutenant. So I would take a motion to accept the proclamation.
I move that we accept the proclamation declaring April 9th through the 15th, 2023 as National Telecommunicators Week for 911.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, and motion passes. Thank you, Lieutenant.
If you don't telecommunicate, you don't do much else, do you?
All right, item 14, this is a board approval request, and this is per policy expenditure policy 930, payment of election services for the March 14th, 2023 consolidated election with K&H Integrated Print Solutions and our manager of elections, Asa Gray.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Asa Gray for the record. What is before you is a request for approval to pay K&H Integrated Print Solutions for costs that were incurred with printing of ballots and mailing of absentee ballots from the March 2023 consolidated election. They not only print and mail our absentee ballots, they also print our precinct ballots, our test deck, and our counter ballots, which are the backup ballots we have in office. The total amount is $17,479.70. And with that, I would ask for your approval on this.
Thank you. Questions, motion?
I move that we approve the request for policy 930 for payment of election services for March 14th, 2023 consolidated election with K&H Integrated Print Solutions and Elections.
In the amount of $17,479.70. I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. Item 15, board approval request, approval of Great Floors bid for flooring of courtrooms and judges' offices, and our facilities or building manager, Greg Manley.
I'm just asking you to approve the $10,178.03 for carpeting for courtrooms and judges' quarters. We have about $48,000 from last year's 5-year budget in this, and so it's just coming out of 5-year money. And this will just do part of them, but at least we'll have the inventory to do it when we have time and
Okay.
space, you know.
So is it general fund 5-year plan, or is it the restricted court funds?
This should be restricted court funds.
Okay, perfect.
Does this include labor?
That's us.
Huh?
That's us.
So no, it doesn't include labor because we're providing the labor.
Yeah, we're providing.
I got it.
All right, questions, motion?
I move that we approve the board, the approval of the Great Floors bid for flooring of courtrooms and judges' offices in the amount of $10,178.03.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Thank you, Greg. Item 16, financial budget, request to purchase 2 snowmobiles with the snow groomers operations, and our director, Nick Snyder. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Nick Snyder for the record. Yes, you might recall last Tuesday that the board approved authorization for us to move forward to procure 2 snowmobiles, which are necessary for field operations, using program fund balance not to exceed $25,000. So since that time, the department located 2 units, and for you is a purchase order for your consideration. The total cost of the 2 units is $22,173.46. However, you'll note that the unpaid balance shown on the right side of that document is $19,956.12 because we were required to place a deposit of $2,217.34 to prevent the units from being sold. So that said, we seek board approval to complete the purchase using program fund balance as soon as possible.
All right, questions?
No questions.
I have a couple. How are we getting them here?
Our staff will pick them up. They're located in Ronan, Montana, so within a workday's drive there and back.
Okay, and then will these things be just stored until the fall, or will you get them out there in what's remaining of our snow?
We are going to take them out and at least run them, Commissioner, to make sure they don't have any warranty or mechanical issues while it's still under warranty, because by the time winter comes next year, they won't be. So we will run them and make sure that they are good, and if there's a problem, we will have them repaired under warranty at our local Polaris dealer.
Thank you very much. If there's no other questions, I would take a motion.
I move that we approve the request to purchase 2 snowmobiles for snow groomers. In an amount $25,000 or?
Yeah, I already got off that.
I got $22,173.40.
I
But
think that's it.
that's it.
Yep.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Thank you. Item 17, and this is a financial budget request, approval to use tobacco funds to fund the purchase of replacement lapel mics at juvenile detention. And Mr. Sheffield, will you lead us in this?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Eric Sheffield, Juvenile Detention. And yes, we have the need to replace lapel mics due to some numerous mics shorting out. So we've decided that we would need 29 to replace our current stock. And we've been in contact with Day Wireless, and we have an invoice for $5,945.87, and we'd like to use or request to use tobacco funds to pay for those mics to replace our malfunctioning mics.
Okay, and so my understanding is you did try to get them repaired in-house and even third-party, and they're not repairable.
We relied on 911 expertise, calling the radio guy over there. He actually took them apart, tried to fix them, and then we sent them over to Day Wireless, and they are non-fixable. They are not under warranty anymore, so they need to be replaced.
Okay, and the balance in the tobacco funds? Approximate? 800,000?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Questions, motion?
No questions. I move that we approve the request to use tobacco funds to fund the purchase of replacement lapel mics in the amount of $5,945.87.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Thank you. Item 18, board approval request. This is Kootenai Health consent to conversion. This is the coordination of transportation services agreement. And Chad Engel, did you make it on the phone?
I did, yes. Thank you, Commissioners. Chad Engel with RMO for the record. The agreement before you is between Kootenai Health and Kootenai County and is a collaborative and cooperative agreement to advance the coordination of transportation services and non-emergent medical transportation services to the citizens of Kootenai County.
All right, questions?
The only question I have is that this is basically just because they're changing their entity structure, and that's it.
That's correct.
That's correct. Yep.
That's it.
Right, so while I would not be in favor of approving this, I think that the disruption of care that it would cause would not be good for the citizens. So I would go ahead and approve this. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the request for Kootenai Health consent to conversion coordination of transportation services agreement with RMO.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Item 19, board approval request. This is the addendum to Master Joint Powers Agreement, and it's for the emergency and non-emergency services with the City of Coeur d'Alene, Eastside Fire District, and this is actually the KCEMSS agreement. So does anybody have any questions on this one?
This is an addendum, or it's an updated version?
Right. It's
Looks like an
more like an
addendum.
addendum.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're just a couple months behind in signing it. All the other entities have already signed it back from October and February.
Okay. I have no questions.
Okay. Motion?
I move that we approve the addendum to the Master Joint Powers Agreement for the emergency and non-emergency services with the City of Coeur d'Alene and Eastside Fire District.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, and I'll just add that it's also KCEMSS is the joint powers part, so. All right, Item 20, offer to purchase tax deed, sealed bid, AIN 314675, Party of Ross. And we thought about this last week, so hopefully my co-commissioners have decided on which way they want to go. I'll remind the audience that we did receive a sealed bid for approximately $126. And then on this property is the taxes are $146 and change, and then the hard costs, fees paid out, are $383, and then the aquifer fee is $83.44, not including penalties and interest. So, thoughts on this?
I think we got to get all the money and the taxes and interest from it at least. And if we don't get that, we should reject it.
Okay.
This may be a tax deed, but it's not a fire sale.
Right. Thoughts, Bruce?
This is a little bit of a tough one. I mean, I do agree with the concept that we should at least recover our fees. And it's not uncommon in other jurisdictions to at least seek to recover their fees when they sell these properties. I wish there was some way that an adjoining property owner would at least be willing just to kind of kick in a little bit more, because we're not talking about that much. And I think in the end, it would probably enhance the property value, as a result of that.
So we can ask staff in the denial letter to indicate that we would consider, if they wanted to put additional monies forth.
I think that would be fair. At the very least, something reasonable.
Okay. Then I would take a motion to deny the sale for that AIN and for staff to request, they're still interested in maybe additional funds.
I move that we deny the offer to purchase for AIN 314675 for Ross, and we suggest that our staff contact Ross and see if we can't reach a more equitable agreement.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion carries for the denial of the sale. And item 21, status update pending list. And our first item is facilities expansion. So we are to the point where we've met, we've decided that we're going to go ahead with the project as it stands, knowing that we may have to come up with fund balance from general fund in order to complete the project. The construction manager will keep us apprised as they go along as to changing prices. So at this point, the next thing, and we can bring it forward next Tuesday, would be to indicate to the architect to work with the construction manager, general contractor, to change some design in order to save money.
I thought we were a little bit under the impression that we were going to proceed with the bid so that we knew exactly what this was and that we would give it until August to make that final decision.
So the way it works is that now the construction and the architect work together, and the architect pares down their design in order to save money. For instance, we wouldn't have so much glass maybe. Maybe they would shrink the glass, and then the construction would be able to say, okay, that's going to save you this amount of money. So they're intending to come back before us periodically, maybe monthly, to let us know where the prices are.
Okay.
But they expect a bid in August, so that's kind of where the rubber will meet the road.
Well, that would be good.
Okay. All right. With no other questions, impact fees.
We're things are all quiet right now as far as the Board of Commissioners, because Pat is working with Ann Westcott to determine how to structure those.
I have a question. Are the cities, are they receptive to this?
I can't hear you.
Are the cities receptive to this? To
Some
collecting?
are, some are, some aren't.
Any particular reason why they would not be?
Politics. They see it, along the same lines as taking money from people, just like a levy, bad word.
Oh, they're taking money from the people who live here.
Don't,
So, okay.
it's like banging your head against the wall.
So I am in receipt of a letter, March 21st, from Ann Westcott, which would be a letter that we could send out.
Right, she sent a model.
Right. So if either one of my co-commissioners would be in favor, I would be in favor of sending this out to the
Yeah,
mayors.
that's fine.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So that will be fixed and put before the commissioners for signature, probably consent calendar, Dave? Okay. Great. Anything else on impact fees?
No.
Then I would call for public comment. Okay, hearing none, it is 2:30, meeting adjourned.